John Hamlin. I'm professor in sociology at UMD, current president of the union. The history was really about trying to get more decision-making for our campus on our campus. How to deal with disputes, how to deal with promotion and tenure, how to deal with all kinds of issues that were being decided on the Twin Cities campus that would affect people in Duluth, and folks just felt that that was extremely unfair. So we've been unionized for a fairly long time. The problem with governance is only advisory. Nothing happens in governance has any real standing, because they can change their mind. It's just advice. So anything we do in governance is advisory to the chancellor, and they can go ahead and choose to do it or not, or continue to do it or stop doing it. There isn't anything to stop them from doing it because it's only advisory. The union has got legal kind of standing. So once you make an agreement in the contract, then that's something they have to abide by.
I sort of worry a lot about young women at the university, that they haven't been in the workplace long enough to realize where they actually are getting discriminated against. And sometimes that, one has to be around long enough to actually sort of track some of these things. But, you hope against hope that things will continue to go along well.
Right. Things may go along well in the unit under the administration you have right now. They may be gone tomorrow, and someone new coming in could change that whole dynamic overnight. And without the union safeguards, it's suddenly gone. I never need a protection of a union or those kinds of protections if the people I'm working with all the time are reasonable and responsible and everything is fine. Life doesn't stay that way, unfortunately, and people change, and when that changes, you suddenly have no safeguards. We've always been concerned about the lack of support for faculty in terms of parental leave. And so we have right now a new policy we got in place in the last contract. So women right now if they're giving birth, get a semester off with pay. We argued to have that for adoptive parents as well, because we think that's just as time-consuming, and maybe more so in some ways, but we weren't able to get that. And it doesn't happen for spouses. It's only those women giving birth. We debated as a union whether or not that was something we wanted to accept, but in the end we decided that was a good thing, because at least it got us something for a lot of people, and that's something to build on.
Adjunctification is a serious concern down here. I've seen it in my own small area, and affects every single area of our university.
Our faculty ranks have probably grown a bit over the last 2-3 years. We're kind of in two minds with it. We worry about that, so we try to keep a balance between how many non-regular or term faculty we have versus tenure track. But we've worked hard to get the non-regulars into the union, because they have a career there as well. The other thing that getting folks into the union as non-regulars did was to help with the merit, as George was talking about. It's a merit cycle now, as all of you know. Before the non-regulars were part of our union, there was no obligation to give them merit. In fact, the perception would be, why would I give a person who's going to be here a year a merit increase? That's a silly waste of money. And then you hire them back, and they're back at the same salary they were in the year before. They were successful at getting sabbatical leaves for non-regular. So if you get a sabbatical, guarantees you're going to be around for a couple of years. We spend a lot of time with faculty, meeting with administrators over things that aren't contractual, but they're so insecure because of their position, whether it's because of where they're at in the tenure process, or as a non-regular, we're really vulnerable, or because they're female or people of color, or international and foreign faculty. We spend a lot of time working with people over those sort of things and just giving them that kind of support. They don't know where else to go, because there isn't anybody else to go to. Faculty governance doesn't do that, but they feel like the union has some clout, and at least they can talk to somebody there from the union, and that's been extremely beneficial